There they are, ladies and gentlemen, the stare down and a few words exchanged.
Haven't seen.
You gonna see Saturday,
Bro,
Saturday
even
night.
the little clips on the
Saturday.
what is called that we just had, the gloves off. What the was you doing?
Hey, you know what?
Davis's corner. So you have Coach Calvin, and Coach Calvin is the head trainer, and you have Coach Kenny, who really specializes on preparing game plans specifically for a pump.
Gervonta Davis shocked everyone by slapping Lamont Roach during a fiery face-off, igniting an explosive confrontation. Tension skyrocketed as Davis declared he would break Roach in their upcoming clash. Neither fighter backed down, their mutual hostility on full display. The moment was raw, intense, and deeply personal, turning an already anticipated bout into a grudge match, with emotions running high. This showdown is now poised to be one of the year's most aggressive and emotionally charged fights. In the gym, Gervonta Davis has entered a new level of mental and physical commitment. Once again under the guidance of trusted coach Calvin Ford, he's honing his skills with quiet intensity. But this camp is different. Unlike previous preparations, where the Washington, D.C. crew played a prominent role, this one is deliberately smaller, tighter, and more secure. With fewer outside voices and tighter control of information, there's no room for strategic leaks, something rumored to have impacted the first fight. That distraction is gone. The focus now is full refinement. The camp has eliminated noise, locked in on execution, and committed to a laser-sharp approach. With Ford back in his corner and redemption on his mind, Davis's preparation signals a fight far bigger in scale and stakes than their first encounter.
100% correct. Personally, I had Gervonta Davis up around, because whenever you have rounds where nobody's doing anything, I'm not just going to do what most people do, and especially people that don't like Gervonta Davis, which is just give the round to the other guy because Gervonta Davis didn't manage to knock him out that round. Okay, so this is Gary Russell Jr. clearly saying, man, no, I don't think Lamont Roach won that fight. You also had Al Bernstein, and Al Bernstein, I'm telling you, is a very, very straight, fair guy who I don't know if he was on that call, but he used to work with Showtime. I don't know if he was on there. I don't recall if I heard him. I think it was Rolly Ronaldo that was calling it. But Al Bernstein, who was a very, very objective person, said, hey, look, no, sorry to break it to you, but Gervonta Davis won that fight. Yeah, Lamont Roach put up a really good fight, but Lamont Roach was not dynamic. He did not do anything to really separate himself from Gervonta Davis. He just kept it equal. He just tried to keep it even the entire fight. And that's not enough, again, to take the belt from the champion. Now, I do want to say that the people that thought that Lamont Roach won, I don't have any problem with that. I really don't have a problem with it at all. I personally, again, had a point for Gervonta Davis, but I can see how those swing rounds really could go, depending on who's looking at it, really could go different ways, right?
The rematch between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach has already proven to be a commercial powerhouse, with over 150,000 pay-per-view units sold well before fight night. This surge in anticipation highlights not only the intensity of their rivalry, but also the public's demand for closure. Fans vividly recall the tension and unpredictability of their first bout and are eager to see if Davis can reassert dominance or if Roach will rise again. The early sales figures confirm what many analysts predicted. This isn't just a sequel, it's a marquee event. Both fighters have transcended the ring, becoming central characters in boxing's unfolding drama.
Tank out here selling under 150,000 pay-per-views, you kidding me? Oh man, face of boxing, yeah, turn that shit off. Yeah, we shutting that shit down every single time. Does Shakur really want to fight Tank? I think Shakur could sell a bit more with somebody else, especially in Saudi. I feel like they can find him a dancing partner that'll do a little bit better than 150,000. Okay, I get it. This is why PBC delayed this fight for 5 months? I ain't want to pay this motherfucker because y'all know he can't settle. I mean, this should have been evident. you do the math, Tank has never been that great of a pay-per-view draw. He sold over 300K twice now in his career. He sold over 300K with Ryan Garcia, that's obvious, Ryan's the bigger star. And then he sold over 300 with Martin, he sold about 325. But when we put it in perspective, that Frank Martin fight was a comeback fight after a year layoff, so it was always going to sell. Every comeback fight's going to sell. It was one of the first pay-per-views on Amazon's new PBC deal, so they were really trying to push it. And then he had David Benavidez as the co-main event with Gary Russell and Alberto Puello under them. You take away all those factors, that this wasn't a comeback fight. David Benavidez isn't the co-main event, and Amazon has now been in the game for over a year. It makes sense it only sold 150. I know there's going to be a couple of you guys in the comments, no, it sold 500K. Don't be so gullible. It didn't sell 500K. I don't know if Tank's a top, well, I know for a fact he's not a top 5 draw in the sport of boxing anymore. Whoa. He's not selling pay-per-views. Bivol better be up just triple it. Well, Jerry, their pay-per-views are cheaper. Don't matter. All that matters is who has more eyes watching him, and Bivol better be after Tank does.
Instead of scrapping their original game plan, Gervonta Davis's team has opted for a smarter strategy. Adjustment over overhaul. Reviewing footage from a first fight revealed key issues, mistimed execution, and a noticeable dip in mid-round confidence. Armed with that insight, the team has refined specific elements such as attack angles, spacing, and response timing. The goal isn't to reinvent Davis, but to sharpen what already works. They've replaced hesitation with calculated aggression, closing the gaps that allowed Roach to succeed. This revised approach makes Davis even more dangerous. His core remains intact, but his execution is now cleaner, crisper, and far more decisive.
Got a good chin. Oh, he got a good chin. If you got a good chin, okay, let's go ahead. Let's touch this. The chin ain't the only thing that can get you out of there. There's other things that you can do and then go back to the chin. I won't go into detail, but I look at shit different from a lot of people, man. You know what I'm saying? If you got a fighter that listens, he's gonna be a hell of a fighter if he listens to what I tell him, you know? All fighters don't listen, because some missions you put them on, you gotta walk through hell to get it done. And every fighter's not willing to walk through hell. You know what I mean? But the chin is not the only thing to get a fight out of it, and the body's not the only thing to get a fight out of it. It's other shit too, you know? You gotta hurt. I believe in hurting. You gotta hurt them to get it started, you know?
PD, thank you for the $2. People were surprised by Roach and Tank. What do you think the biggest surprise was in the fight?
It wasn't a surprise because we know Roach. It wasn't a surprise. Roach can fight. A lot of people think because a person is not popular, they don't exist. There's fighters out there that can rumble. They just got to get the opportunity, you know?
What many saw as a knockdown in the first fight may not have been a true indicator of Gervonta Davis's vulnerability. New reports suggest the slip was caused by an external irritation, possibly from a grooming product, that impaired his vision during the bout. If accurate, this revelation shifts the narrative entirely, reframing what appeared to be a flaw in endurance or technique as a preventable distraction. For Davis's supporters, it reinforces their faith in his skill and resilience. It also adds a layer of urgency to his team's preparation, ensuring no minor oversight, like product residue, can compromise performance in such a high-stakes rematch.
Everybody really think Tank go take the L. I've been seeing it. They said it's over. They think that this time Lamont go in more confident, knowing that basically he can, really take it to Tank. Yeah, I want him to go in there confident. He's very skilled. Go in there confident. Because you gonna go up against a different Tank. Like I told y'all in previous videos. He gonna go in there confident, thinking he can walk Tank down. Don't forget, with Tank, if he can get you on that button, them lights going off, I don't care who you is. Remember how it ended up with Frank Martin? So yeah, don't go in there thinking that you're going against like somebody that, like Ryan Garcia, somebody that let's go fold. You're going against Gervonta Tank Davis. And I think that confidence is what's going to get Lamont dropped. Because one thing I will say, with Tank, that wasn't your best fight against Lamont, bro. I feel like you was in your head too much, you was overconfident, and you was really just, your mind was in y'all story, the lore, and everything with y'all history. You ain't going there like, I'm fighting a stranger. You going there like, oh, this Lamont. is from the same camp, we from the same area. But now I think that whole situation woke him up. Because you gotta think, Tank not used to losing. He not used to people being against him. He not used to being the one that...
Former world champion Mikey Garcia offered thoughtful insight into Gervonta Davis's chances in the rematch. While he praised Davis's natural talent and ability to adapt, Garcia warned that technical skill alone won't be enough. He emphasized that mental discipline will be the true deciding factor. Davis must block out distractions, public scrutiny, personal issues, and outside pressure to perform at his best. Garcia believes Davis has everything it takes to win, but only if his mental focus matches his physical readiness. This rematch, he said, isn't just a test of technique. It's a full examination of psychological resilience.
Because I know I got a lot of shit to do. Lamont Roach versus Gervonta, the rematch. Looks like it's gonna happen. Hopefully.
I think Tank wins in the rematch.
Why?
I think he'll make the right adjustments, and he won't take too long to fight. He kind of gave a lot of the round away sometimes. I think he'll be more active and he'll win. But big props to Roach for his last fight and performance. Fuck, surprised everybody.
Right.
I think he was robbed from the victory. Again, that knockdown should have been a knockdown. But whatever, he gets a rematch, you know. And maybe they get a third fight, you know, after that. Who knows?
Maybe it turns into Marcus back out.
Maybe it turns out to be another great fucking matchup, and they say, you know, let's run it back. And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach fucking get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or you know, you never know. So hey, things happen for a reason, and I think he did really well his first one.
After the first fight with Roach, social media lit up with speculation that Gervonta Davis might be stepping away from boxing. But instead of retreating, Davis sent a powerful message by heading straight back into training camp. He didn't allow rumors to shape the narrative. He answered them with action. By scheduling a swift rematch, Davis revealed a core truth about his character. He's not avoiding the past, he's confronting it head-on. This mindset has shifted the storyline entirely. Davis isn't fading into doubt. He's rewriting his legacy with purpose and unwavering determination.
You know, when is the rematch going to happen at this point? Because I'm not going to lie, for it to be a whole month later and y'all still arguing over who actually won is just really like, okay, yeah, run it back because we got to go ahead and settle this, swallow this up. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say neither fighter is shitty, okay? Because after the fight I seen on March 1st, yeah, they both was tagging shit. Both getting up with each other, okay? I thought this was the perfect match. If you was going to win, we got to be down, period. And Gervonta was stinging him. I'm not going to lie. He was stinging him. Great fight for him. But I'm not going to lie. He came out knowing what he was trying to do. Y'all have to give it to him. Like, y'all just be hating, okay? Y'all can't get in the ring and fucking fight. Y'all just be hating. He's something to know their house, okay? Because Gervonta had a great fight. Don't get me wrong. My money was on him. But I think what messed him up was the fact that when he came out, y'all know he was 2 steps ahead. He was 3 steps ahead. I feel like he already had Tank figured out. And he definitely was not expecting that. And him, on the other hand, I think he came in really having something to prove. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Like, it was a really good fight, and I feel like this is how I see it. In the beginning of the fight, he was stinking back to back, you know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the fight, that's when he finally kicked it up. But I seen consistency with him through the whole fight. I'm not gonna lie, like, so I just feel like the rematch shouldn't happen because you never know. He might, now that he was 3 steps ahead, become 8 steps ahead. He might really knock his butt down, but at the end of the day, it's like, we need this rematch because I don't think this is ever gonna be a dispute that is settled and, you know, officially he won, he lost until they fight. Like, we gotta see.
Boxing veteran and commentator Teddy Atlas recently offered a deeper perspective on Gervonta Davis's skill set. While many highlight Davis's knockout power and explosive finishes, Atlas focused on the subtle but vital aspects: his sense of distance, rhythm, and poise under pressure. What truly sets Davis apart, Atlas explained, is his ring intelligence. He doesn't rush or react impulsively. Instead, he stays composed, calculating each move. When the pressure mounts, Davis keeps his emotions in check, allowing him to strike with precision and control. These mental tools, Atlas emphasized, make Davis not just powerful, but truly dangerous when it matters most.
He's going to try to get to us, but we're going to frustrate him. He doesn't get frustrated. He takes his time. He's deliberate. You know, a lot of times at the beginning, people thought he was just a seek and destroy missile. They thought he was just a guy that got you. and they thought that he would get over anxious. He don't get over anxious. He takes his time. He slowly crosses, closes those gaps. You know, inch by inch, step by step, and then he gets to you.
Sports analyst Stephen A. Smith weighed in on the matchup, highlighting a crucial physical mismatch between the fighters. While acknowledging Roach's sharp technique and high ring IQ, Smith pointed to Davis's raw physicality as a potential game changer. He argued that Davis's superior strength, reach, and body control could neutralize Roach's finesse, especially if the fight turns into a gritty, close-range battle. According to Smith, technical skill isn't always enough. In some fights, it's pressure, power, and physical dominance that ultimately determine the winner.
And lastly, Stephen A., last name I of course want to throw your way is Gervonta Davis. I know you believe in his skills.
Yes, I do.
But what do you think of his fight with Roach? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think Roach is too small. I think Roach is too small. And that's my issue. I'm not questioning the skill set or anything like that. But it was similar to Frank Martin. You know what I mean? This guy comes in there and he got 18 fights. And I remember watching that pre-fight press conference when he was annoying Gervonta Davis so much and he cussed by accident. Excuse me. He cussed by accident. He was like, ooh, you know, making this up. He hurt me in sparring, and you know, and I knew Gervonta was going to come for him, and sure enough, that's what he did. Walked right towards him from round one on. But, you know, I remember what he said, and it really, really struck me. Gervonta's a smart dude, bro. And he said, you really should have waited. You don't have enough experience. You really should have waited and took your time before you came to me. And that's what Gervonta Davis told him. And he was right.
In his latest training camp, Davis is training like a man on a mission, carrying a chip on his shoulder and a point to prove. This rematch isn't just about settling the score. It's about reestablishing his place at the top of the sport. He's using every criticism and moment of doubt as motivation, pushing harder in every session. From strength training to sparring, he's attacking each workout with heightened focus and intensity. Davis isn't just aiming for a win. He wants to dominate. To make it clear the first fight was a misstep, not a pattern. He's more dangerous than ever.
Got to step back from the situation. That's why I think he's being hushed right now, because when he come this time, it ain't no talking. And that's why I think it's scary, because we never see Tank in that mode where he don't say a word. I think this gonna be a different Tank. And what's crazy is Tank used to be like that in the beginning, like when he was with Floyd. Like, I'm talking about Tank with the fade, with the waves, bro. He ain't used to be on that showboat and stuff until he got, like, you know, a little bit more in the boxing, you know, thing. Of course, once you with Floyd, you're gonna start being flashy and doing backflips off the ring. But in his beginning stages, dude wasn't playing. He was dropping shit. I think that's what we about to go to, bro. And we know that people like, man, did he take Calvin off of his team? Nah, like he said, Calvin is boy. I think he just locked on somebody else right now to give him some sharper skills, you know, to change up his skill and what people know him by. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I think Tank will take it from mine. And that's not me being biased. I think we ain't never seen Tank like this before.
To take his preparation to the next level, Davis has brought in renowned trainer Kenny Ellis, known for his discipline and sharp tactical mind. Ellis runs a no-nonsense camp. Every drill has intent, and corrections are swift and precise. His sessions are intense and focus on identifying weaknesses before opponents can exploit them. Under Ellis's guidance, Davis is fine-tuning every detail, from footwork and guard transitions to counter timing. This is more than physical training. It's strategic refinement. With Ellis in his corner, Davis gains not just support, but a tactical advantage on fight night.
He's one of the best trainers in boxing, second guy in the corner. Is responsible for a lot of the real tactical decisions and tactical analysis that goes on in Gervonta Davis's corner. So you have Coach Calvin, and Coach Calvin is the head trainer, and you have Coach Kenny, who really specializes on preparing game plans specifically for opponents. So to have him talk about what's going on with Lamont Roach, I thought was interesting and insightful, because what he said was that, one, he's not falling for the okie doke. When Mill City asked him, hey, what do you think about the fact that, you know, that Lamont Roach was seen at a basketball game chugging a beer? And I would have added to the question that you see Lamont Roach out giving a bunch of interviews, doing the interview circuit, right? Kind of being a little bit out of character leading into the rematch. Do you think, and this is what Mill City asked, do you think that is something you guys are taking in consideration in preparation for the fight? And what Kenny Ellis said was, look, man, we're not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. We know what Lamont Roach brings to the table, and he says that Lamont Roach is we're not believing that he's out there drinking or blowing up a bunch of weight and all that. You know, he says what most people say, hey, we're going to prepare for the best version of Lamont Roach that is going to that'll come for us. But the way that he saw the fight coming out was he said he sees it like the fight before, a lot of really crisp shots landing.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned.